Hello, I'm Michelle, founder and CEO of Fold-A-Go Wheelchairs. I get asked a lot, why did you create Fold-A-Go Wheelchairs? And the answer is simple. The first chair I made was for me. When I was 26 years old, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. That's why my hands look like this. Wrist is stuck, fingers are fused. By the time I was in my late 30s, 40s, I was permanently confined to a wheelchair. I couldn't stand, I couldn't walk, I couldn't feed myself, I couldn't dress myself, I couldn't bathe myself, I couldn't wipe my own butt. That put me permanently into what I call the Big Bertha chair. The chairs that are 300-400 pounds. They have 6 wheels, big, huge captain's chair. So I spent 3 years permanently confined to that Big Bertha chair. I then proceeded to need 6 joint replacements. In order for me to get up out of the chair, I needed both shoulders replaced, both hips replaced, both knees replaced, 6 joints. My choices at the time were a Big Bertha chair, which I currently had, a scooter, rollator, or manual wheelchair. Now, the manual wheelchair with these crippled hands and shoulder replacements, there was no way I was going to be doing this all over town. Scooters were another problem because they required 2 hands. You kind of had to lean forward, and that with hands that looked like this and both shoulders being replaced, that was not an option either. So I started thinking, I like the joystick. If I could have it lightweight, portable, something that I can put in my current car, I wanted something that was simple and easy. I couldn't be taking things apart. I couldn't have 5 pieces and be putting a puzzle together in the parking lot. So the first chair I made was for me. I would go to grocery stores, go into the store, drive around the store, come out of the store, fold it up, put it in my car, and I would turn around and there would be a dozen people standing around me going, "What is that? Where can I get it? How, do you sell it? How much is it? Oh my goodness, I need that." Or I know somebody that needs it. I quickly realized that there were a lot of people just like me that had a little bit of mobility. I could walk around my house because there was always a place to sit down. There was always the couch, the bed, the recliner, the dining room chair, the toilet. There was always a place to sit down. But when I went out of public, I had a little weeble in my wobble. I could only be on my feet 5, maybe 10 minutes at the max, and then my body was poking at me. This year, in 2025, we celebrate 10 years of Fold-A-Go. We have sold thousands of chairs all over the world. And the reason that we are so popular, the reason that we are the industry leader, is because we are owned and operated by people in wheelchairs. I designed the chair for something that I wanted. I love to travel. So when I started mass producing Fold-A-Gos, I went to FAA and looked up the guidelines for lithium-ion batteries. I went to IATA for international flights, and I realized that lithium-ion batteries had to be inside the equipment. Just like your cell phone, your laptop, your tablet, those are allowed on the aircraft because the battery is inside the case of the device. So that means that if the battery misbehaves, your cell phone takes a hit, but the aircraft is perfectly safe. So I designed the batteries to be inside the frame, not just sitting under your seat like the scooters, the Big Bertha chairs. I also love to be outdoors, and I was disabled every single day, rain or shine. My Big Bertha that had warnings all over it. Don't drive in the rain. Don't drive even on wet surfaces after the rain. So I needed the chair to be waterproof because, like I said, I'm disabled every day, rain or shine. I got to go to work. I got to take care of my family. I got to run errands. I've got to do those things even when it's pouring rain. So I wanted a chair that could handle the rain, that could drive through a flooded street, that drive in a total downpour, go to Disney World that afternoon, Florida, 3 o'clock rain that comes down and dumps on you, or you live in Seattle and it rains 300 days out of the year. I wanted something that I could drive in the pouring rain. I could even go off-roading. If I wanted to drive through the mud and go do a little mud bogging, all I wanted to do was just take a hose and hose it off and throw it back in the car. The other thing I liked to do was walk my dogs. I was a big mountain biker before rheumatoid. And I loved hiking trails and taking my puppy dogs and walking the hiking trails. My Big Bertha chair could not do the hiking trails. It was sidewalk only. But when I designed the Fold and Go, I wanted it to do a higher slope. Because the way manufacturers think is most Big Berthas, scooters, those type of chairs will do a 8-degree slope. The reason for that is because that is the transition from the parking lot up the little ramp to the sidewalk. But regular life is not an 8-degree slope. Talk to our customers in San Francisco. They will tell you that regular life is not an 8-degree slope. I wanted something that would climb hills steeper than 8 degrees. My Big Bertha chair and scooters, they have a mindset of the motor sits right underneath the seat because that's the heaviest part. The problem with that is once you start going up a hill, the motor's underneath you and there's nothing behind you, so you can fall over backwards. So I designed the wheelbase where the wheels were up front, the motor wheels were back here, and you sat right in the middle. And what that did is as you started going up a steeper hill, the nice thing about that is the motors were behind you. So you can do, in a Fold and Go, you can do a 25-degree slope because the motors are behind you. They're not underneath you. And you are sitting in the middle of the drivetrain. If you look at the side shot of our wheelchairs, you'll see what I'm talking about. The next thing was comfort. If you have had a manual wheelchair and you drive over bricks, cobblestones, pavers, you know what I'm talking about. That vibration in an aluminum frame chair, you feel it in your bones. And then the next 5 days, you are in bed because you feel like you've been hit by a truck. So because I did a lot of mountain biking in my early years, what if we took a mountain bike frame? Because that is made to be lightweight and it's made to absorb the bumps of the road, the bricks, the cobblestones, the pavers, the rocks, the dirt, everything, the tree branches, the bushes. Our Fold and Go, I made it out of an oval magnesium mountain bike frame. You will notice that our frame is not just like a finger size aluminum tube, because those chairs, good Lord, you will feel every bump that you drive over. But in an oval mountain bike magnesium frame, it absorbs and it flexes and it bends as you're going over the off-road. The other thing that I wanted was I wanted a comfortable seat. I was so tired of stick straight backrests and flat seat base. So I took a playbook out of the high-end CEO office chairs. You know, those office chairs are all contoured for executives because they work 80 hours a week. Well, I thought, well, I sit in my wheelchair 80 hours a week, so why not take some of that ergonomic contoured seating and put it in a chair? So you'll notice on our MagShock chair that the seat cushion, it curves away from your legs as you get to the front towards your knees. So it's not sticking in you. You'll also notice that the backrest floats up and it follows the curvature of your spine. That gives you a more ergonomic space. We've opened up the hip angle so it's not a 90-degree angle, so it's more relaxed. These are all features because we're in wheelchairs. Anybody that you talk to here at Fold and Go is in a wheelchair. We are owned and operated by people in wheelchairs. We all have our personal Fold and Goes. We all travel. We all take care of our families. We all run errands. We go to the grocery store. All of those things that you're wanting to do, we do. So that's why we built a chair that we would want. And in turn, a lot of people want it. This is what makes us the industry leader, is because we use the chair that we sell. I am so tired of perfectly healthy people designing medical equipment and they never spend more than 5 minutes in their medical equipment. They're like, well, I think we only need an 8-degree slope because the only hill in their life is from the parking lot to the sidewalk. Come on. And when it rains, they don't need to go out of their home when it rains. Why would we want them to do that? They just stay inside. They're disabled. They don't need a life. They don't need to go anywhere. Come on. So this is what makes Fold and Go the best wheelchair in the world, because we design it for ourselves. Did you also know that the rubber tires are solid rubber? My Big Bertha has pneumatic tires, which means that there's a little tube inside there. So you know what happens when you drive over a piece of glass or a nail or a sharp rock? Guess what? You both blow a flat. And then what are you supposed to do? Call AAA to come rescue you in your wheelchair? Because there you're going to sit on the sidewalk. In a Fold and Go, we have all-terrain, solid rubber tires. So guess what? You drive over a nail, you just pull it out and you keep going. Here at Fold and Go, we care. We use the exact same chair that our customers do. And to top it off, the cherry on the top comes in 12 colors. We have some amazing colors because you customize it. Your wardrobe, your hair. Customize the chair for you. Have fun. The reason that Fold and Go exists is to give you a tool. Keep going. I understand that you can't walk so good. I have a Weeble in my wobble still, but I love my Fold and Go. I have been all over the world in my Fold and Go. I have more of an active lifestyle because of my chair. If I didn't have my chair, I would be curled up in a ball in my house. Just, bye everybody, enjoy life. I wish I could go. Friends call up and say, hey, let's go to this and that. Great, come pick me up. Throw my chair in the back of their car and away we go. So I'm here to encourage you that there is medical equipment designed for you by people just like you. Our chair does amazing things. I know you may have just got a diagnosis, or you're like, man, I can't go into a wheelchair. I can't. That means I'm crippled. No, it doesn't. There are amazing tools out there to help you keep going. Our heart's desire is to keep going. Physically, sometimes our body agrees, sometimes it doesn't. This is why we need tools and gadgets to help us live our life to the fullest. So you are in the right spot. Anybody that you talk to here at Fold and Go is in a wheelchair too. And you know what? Sometimes our conversations are not even about the chair. It's about the diagnosis that you got. We've cried with people. We've prayed with people. We've tried to encourage people that are just in the starting blocks of disease and still got to go through all that junk. You can get to the other side, and we are here to help you. We do a lot of amazing things at this company because we are disabled, just like you. So whether you need the chair as a travel chair, whether you need it as your daily chair, we got you covered. So I want to thank you for taking this opportunity to hear kind of the behind the scenes story of why we're here, why we do what we do. And I want to encourage you that there are solutions. There are really cool gadgets that will help you keep doing life. It's just in a seated perspective. I'm Michelle, founder and user of Fold and Go wheelchairs.